Welcome to in 5 minutes. Now we'll be writing a program to count number of alphabets, digits and other characters in the input string. Now since it's a string problem, obviously it's a one-dimensional array problem. So whatever logic we have done with 1D array, that is one-dimensional array, we have to apply over here also. In this case we have to define a string, that is char array. Now in the string problems, the size of the string, that is number of characters which user is going to input, is unknown in advance. So we need to define a big size character array. Commonly we'll define an array of size 50 so that it can accommodate 50 characters into the string. Now secondly, it's a problem of counting, so we need some counting variables. Here we need 3 counting variables, one for alphabet, one for digit and other for other characters. We need to set those counter variables to 0 and then using some index variable we'll go through the string. See, for example, the input string was A, B plus 5, C, D, something like this. So when it's stored into character array, it will be stored into 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. What we'll do is we'll use one index variable I set to 0 and we'll keep moving forward till it reaches null character, and every time we have to keep incrementing the alphabet counter, digit counter or other counter. So we'll check for is A0 an alphabet or digit or other. Since it's alphabet counter, we'll increment that counter to 1. Then we'll move forward, again check what that character is. Since it's alphabet, again increment alphabet counter to 2. Check the next character, that is second character, it's the other character, we'll increment that counter to 1. Then we'll go for third digit, that is 5. We'll increment the digit counter to 1. Again next is C, so increment alphabet counter to 3. Again next is D, increment that counter to 4 and so on till we reach null character. And then finally we have to output these counters. So that is how we'll be writing our program. Partly we have discussed the logic, how we are going to work with this program. Now first is we need to define a char array of size 50 which has A0 to A49 50 characters. We have defined I as an index variable for looping, P for alphabet counter, D for digit counter and T for other counters set to 0. Then using gets we'll input the string. Take an example, the input string was A, B plus 5C. As we press enter, this will be accepted into the array and at the end there will be null character stored automatically. Now how to move through the string? To move through the string we'll use a while loop and not a for loop, because we commonly use for loop when we know in advance we have to write a loop for I equal to 0 to I less than 10 or I equal to 0 to I less than n. In such cases we use for loop, but here we don't know how many characters are input, so count is unknown. So here we have put a condition that till we reach null character keep moving forward. So there is a condition on AI and not on I. So initially we'll set I variable as a 0, index variable as 0. Then we'll check if ith character is not null, then increment I. See, for example, here I is 0, A0 is not null, so I plus plus occurs, I becomes 1. Again checks for is A1 not equal to null, yes, so it becomes 2. Again checks for is A2 is not null, yes, so it goes to 3. Like that we'll keep moving forward. When I becomes 5, A5 not equal to null is false. So in this case that I variable has gone through 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 5. And then while moving through the string, we'll keep counting the characters using if else. That is, if ith character is alphabet, increment P, else if it's a digit, increment D, else increment T. And then finally we'll be outputting the alphabet count, digit count and others, that is P, D and T.